Yes. So now we are going to start the second session on 23rd of June. You may start, Dr. Mukesh.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. So in this session, uh, we will discuss one of our research in this area, that is spectral efficient and deployment cost efficiency analysis of mixed millimeter wave UHF based band-based several networks. Uh, this paper is just published in this article transaction on molecular technology. Okay, so now motivation behind of this work. We have already discussed that most of the wireless standards and just a minute. Okay, most of the wireless standards and devices operate in the traditional UHF band because of its reliability. That means I'm talking about below 3 gigahertz band. And this is the reason why this band is so crowded and costly also. And to enhance the network capacity, there is a need to search new efficient techniques so that we can efficiently use the spectrum, or search some other possible frequency band so that we can enhance the network capacity. So the possible solution could be the small base station deployment, so that so that we can decrease the distance between transmitter and receiver, and by decreasing the transmission power we can aggressively reuse the frequency, and in this way we can enhance the spectral efficiency of the network. Second solution could be non-orthogonal multiple access for the mass connectivity and for the better spectral efficiency. And the third one could be other possible frequency band, that is millimeter wave band. But we have already discussed that it cannot be used standard for the cellular network because of some limitations such as sensitivity to blockages, higher path and wall penetration losses, and poor diffraction characteristics. But for the broad, or you can say for the high data rate, we need fuse bandwidth. And that's why we can use this band if we just exploit this band with the UHF band. So in this one, we provide a way so that we can utilize this band efficiently. Apart from that, now today's urban and suburban cells are very small, and the range is up to 100 to 200 meter. And we have already discussed that in this range we can use millimeter wave bands. So we have this band, we have already discussed in last session that band about 24 gigahertz can be used for the mobile communication system. Okay, so now the summary of the research contribution. What are the research contribution of this paper? So in this one, we have integrated the technical merits of the below 3 gigahertz band and millimeter wave band to solve the spectrum shortage and interference mitigation issue of the cellular networks. After that, a theoretical framework is developed using the tools from the stochastic geometry to analyze the outage probability, ERS spectral efficiency, and deployment cost efficiency of the proposed network. And finally, and in the last, optimal millimeter wave base station density constrained by the outage are calculated, which maximizes the ERS spectral efficiency and deployment cost efficiency. That means we have formulated some optimization problem with constraint outage probability. And after that, a multi-objective optimization problem is formulated to maximize ASC and deployment cost efficiency. That means we jointly optimize area spectral efficiency and deployment cost efficiency with constraint outage probability. So this is the research contribution for this paper, and this is the system model. You can see here we have considered the outdoor network. Okay, here we have two types of base station. One is the large base station, that is macro base station, operates on UHF band, or you can say the traditional cellular network, either 1900 megahertz or 1800 megahertz. Okay, and we have some small base station. Okay, here you can see this type of base station. Okay, these base stations are the small base station, operates on millimeter wave bands. So these are the millimeter wave base stations. Okay, and coverage area is small, obviously. And this colorful mobile is the typical mobile station. And these buildings and trees we have used to denote the blockages. And this is the colorful line. Okay, this one is the desired millimeter wave line of sight communication link or connection link. And this dotted line, okay, is the no line of sight interference link. And here we have this solid line without color. This one, okay, is the millimeter wave line of sight interference link. So in this system model, we have one communication link or desired communication link, one line of sight interference link, and one no line of sight interference link. Okay, and in whole network we have two types of base station. One is traditional UHF band based macro base station, and another is millimeter wave based base station. Okay, so and we have considered outdoor scenario. Now, network modeling. Uh, Actually, in this work, we haven't considered the well-known hexagonal grid model, which is widely accepted for the study and design of the conventional server networks, because this model is too ideal, which based on the some following assumptions, that is, location of the base station follow a deterministic grid. All the coverage is denoted by the hexagonal shape. Okay, and each base stations cover a hexagonal cell, and all cells have the same coverage area. Here you can see the coverage area for the all the cells is same, and base station is deployed or placed at the center of the coverage area. But due to the variation of the capacity demand across the service area and different environmental impairments like fading, etc., the base station will not exactly follow the hexagonal grid model. It is random in nature. In the second figure, you can see we have an actual 4G base station deployment. Obviously, it is a homogeneous cellular network. That means here we have only one type of base station, that is macro base station, and the coverage area of the cell is random. And in hexagonal, it is same hexagonal cell, but here you can see it is a random in shape. So we can say that the topological randomness is the characteristics of the cellular network. And to capture this phenomenon, we use stochastic geometry based mathematical tool. Okay, so here in this figure, we have a 4G based heterogeneous deployment. And you can see that it's a very the shape is random, and we have two types of base station. This red one denotes the macro base station, that is large base station, and this blue one shows the small base station like femto base station or pico base station. Okay, so stochastic geometry is a mathematical tool that provides spatial average. That means average taken over the large number of nodes at different locations for the quantity of interest. Here, quantity of interest is outage probability. Okay, and this model not only captures the topological randomness in the network, but also provide tractable analytical results. So this is the 4G based actual deployment, this one, and this is the Poisson point process based deployment. Okay, you can see both the shapes are very similar, not exact, but very similar. So in this one, we use this triple P based base station deployment. Okay, so now different types of point processes. So a point process is a random collection of points in space. We have different types of point processes, and based on the scenario, we choose this point process. For example, if just a minute. If we have 2 points, suppose this point, and there is a some next point. Suppose this is one base station. Suppose this is one base station, and this is second base station. Okay, and the distance between these base stations is fixed. Suppose this is x. Then we use the hardcore point processes. The minimum distance between nodes are fixed. Okay, and similarly, when we have mutual independence between transmitting nodes, then we use Poisson point process. And when we have clustering of nodes with independence between cluster location, then we use Poisson cluster point process. Similarly, we have binomial point process similar to the triple P for as IID node locations, but with a fixed number of nodes. Here, the number of nodes is fixed in binomial point process. And in this one, we use Poisson point process because here you can see that the we use heterogeneous cellular network. That means in our network, we have small base stations, and we assume that small base stations are deployed by the end user. So its location is random. And by triple P model, we can easily capture this phenomenon. Now, blockage modeling and directional beamforming. Just a minute. Okay. Now blockage model. So millimeter wave, base station point process, and blockage point process are assumed to be two different or to be independent point process. So millimeter wave base station also distributed by some triple P point process, and blockages are also distributed by some other Poisson point process with density lambda p. Okay, and we have considered two types of link, that is line of sight link and no line of sight link. So an line of sight link exists if and only if there are no blockages between a typical mobile station, that is handset, and the base station. And reflected signal received at the base station from the blockage are called no line of sight link. And if the link distance between base station and mobile station is denoted by y, then the probability that communication link, the line of sight, is given by this expression. That is e raised to power minus lambda by. Suppose this is base station, this is mobile station, and distance is y. Suppose then the probability for the line of sight is given by this probability, e to the power minus lambda by, and lambda b is the density of the blockages. Okay, now directional beamforming. Perfect beam steering is assumed in this work, and so the antenna gain for the desired communication link is given by this expression, that is psi naught equal to capital G multiplied by capital G, where capital G is the main lobe gain of the antenna and small g is the back lobe gain, and phi indicates the beam width of the main lobe. And antenna gain of a millimeter wave base station, which causes interference to a typical millimeter wave base station, is given by this expression, that is psi A, capital G multiplied by capital G, which probability is For this, we have this probability, and for a small g to multiply the small g with this probability. When you add these probabilities, then you have 1. Okay, so these are the interference gain. Now, outage probability analysis. The millimeter to calculate the outage probability for the proposed network, that is the mixed millimeter wave UHF based cell network, in short MMUCN. Okay, we just follow these 4 steps. The first step is the millimeter wave channel are used if the SINR, that is signal to interference plus noise ratio, of the millimeter wave link exceeds SINR threshold. We have defined some SNR threshold, some value. Okay, so the millimeter wave channel are used if the SINR of the link exceeds SINR threshold, and if the SINR requirement of the link is not satisfied, the user will check UHF link. That means traditional macro base station link. So the first priority is given to the millimeter wave link. And if UHF link has better channel condition as compared to the millimeter wave link, and it satisfies minimum SINR requirement, the second condition for the communication, then user is associated with the UHF link. That means with the traditional macro base station. And suppose if both the links do not satisfy the minimum SINR requirement, okay, then outage will be declared. So these are the 4 steps we have considered to calculate the outage probability for the proposed network. And based on these steps, we develop one theorem. According to this theorem, if both the desired signal and interfering signal, in system model, we have already seen the desired signal link and the interfering link. There are 2 types of interfering link. One is the line of sight and another one is the no line of sight link. Okay, so if both the desired signal and interfering signals experience the Nakagami M fading, the outage probability for the typically randomly located mobile station operating under the switching based MMUCN, that is proposed network, is given by this expression. Okay, so this P out, this is our outage probability for the proposed network, and multiplied by the P out and multiplied by P out and W. Okay, so the first one, this term, is the outage probability for the macro base station, given by this expression here. Okay, and here this Li is Laplace transform of the interfering macro base station, and given by this expression. The detailed derivation you can find in our research paper and even in our book chapter. Okay, we have provided the detailed derivation there in paper and book chapter. So okay, in its Laplace transform, this is the transmitted power. This new shows the path loss exponent. Path loss exponent we have considered 3.5 for macro base station network, and this small m is the Nakagami M fading, that is fading parameter. Okay, and S is given by this expression. Okay, and theta m is the SINR threshold, and Rn is the distance between base station and mobile station. Okay, the base station and mobile station distance is given by this constant value R. Okay, similarly, the P out MW, that is the outage probability for the millimeter wave base station tire, is given by this expression. Here you can see the 2 part. Hello. Okay, so the outage probability of millimeter wave base station tire can be is given in, you can see here the 2 parts. The first part denotes the outage probability because of the line of sight link, and the second outage probability because of the no line of sight link. Because in millimeter wave communication we have considered 2 types of links, line of sight and no line of sight link, and this PL denotes the line of sight probability, and this PL denotes the no line of sight probability. And obviously, we have two types of interference. Interference because of the line of sight links and because of the no line of sight links. Okay, so here we have the Laplace transform for different interfering links. Okay, the first two, this one and this one for the line of sight link interference, and this one and the second, third, and fourth for the no line of sight link interference for the link for the interference link, so for the interference link for the no line of sight links. Okay, so the derivation is again provided in the in the matrices paper. Okay, now we will see some special cases so that we can conclude some insights. So the first special case is for the interference limited network. Interference limited network means we are not considering the noise part. That means NF, the noise part is equal to 0. And we have considered well-known Rayleigh fading model. That means M equal to, we just put 1. In this equation, okay, the noise part is equal to 0 and small m, the fading parameter equal to 1. When we put and solve that equation, so we have this simple equation, that is P out m equal to 1 minus e to the power minus lambda m mu m, where mu m is given by this expression and lambda m is the density of the network. From this expression, we can see that the further increase in the transmission power does not improve the performance of the millimeter wave MMUC, the proposed network. Same thing we have already discussed in the previous session, that in the interference limited network, the further increase in the transmission power doesn't improve the performance of the network, because increase in signal power is balanced by the increase in the interference power. So this type of network is known as interference limited network. The increased power is balanced by the interference power. So this is the insight from this equation, you can see. And similar observation we can find for the millimeter wave base station also. So according to our work, millimeter wave network could be interference limited network. Okay, and after that we neglect the no line of sight terms and noise term. Okay, so just we put 1 and PL equal to 1. PL is the line of sight probability. So in this equation, you can just assume that we just substitute 0 here, this PN 0 and this PL equal to 1. So after substituting these values, we have this expression. Okay, and in result section, we will see that the millimeter wave based network is line of sight interference limited network. Okay, I will show you some results and prove that the millimeter wave network is the line of sight interference limited network. We can avoid or we can remove this no line of sight links in the calculation. So obviously this equation is simple to analyze. Now in the second special case, we just put m equal to 1, that is the Rayleigh fading, and just simplify this equation. Okay, from this equation again we can conclude the same result, that is increasing the transmission power doesn't improve the performance of the network. Now, area spectral efficiency and deployment cost efficiency. We have calculated in this work area spectral efficiency and deployment cost efficiency. Similarly, we can calculate energy efficiency of the network also. So what is area spectral efficiency? So in this work, we have considered that it is the product of the spatial throughput and link spectral efficiency. What is spatial throughput? Spatial throughput is given by the density of the network, suppose this is lambda, and coverage probability, suppose this is PC. So this is known as spatial throughput, and link spectral efficiency is given by log base 2 1 plus SINR threshold. Suppose this is delta. So this is area spectral efficiency for the network. And for the proposed network, it is given by this expression. Okay, by this expression. Here, this first part is the area spectral efficiency of the millimeter wave base station, and the second part denotes the area spectral efficiency of the macro base station. Okay, because the first priority is given to the millimeter wave base station. Okay, now the deployment cost efficiency, it is the total delivered bits per unit dollar, and calculated by the throughput of the network divided by the total cost of the network. So in the total cost of the network, we have considered two types of cost. One is the operational cost, and second one is the capital cost. Okay, and the CMW is the total cost of the network. That means CMW equal to the operational cost of the millimeter wave base station plus capital cost of the millimeter wave base station tier. And similarly, CM is the capital cost of the macro base station network tier plus operational cost of the macro base station tier. And this lambda MW and is the density of the millimeter wave base station, and this is the density of the macro base station. And this part, the numerator part, is the throughput of the network, and this LE is the link efficiency. PMW is the bandwidth of the network. In this work, we have considered 500 megahertz for the millimeter wave base station, and the bandwidth for the macro base station, it is 20 megahertz, because in 4G the channel bandwidth is 20 megahertz. That's why we have considered 20 megahertz for the macro base station. We are assuming that this is the traditional UHF band, and for the millimeter wave base station, we have just considered 500 megahertz bandwidth, and this is the coverage probability for the millimeter wave network, and this is the coverage probability for the macro base station network. So throughput divided by the total cost of the network is deployment cost efficiency of the network. Now, after that, we have calculated some optimization problem. So in this work, we have formulated two types of optimization, that is unconstrained and constrained optimization. And before that, we just proved that the area spectral efficiency is the quasi-concave with respect to the density. So we have just proved this lemma, that is area spectral efficiency of the proposed network, that is MMUCL, with density lambda MW is strictly quasi-concave in this range. So the local optimal value of the network is global and unique also. So we have just solved the convex optimization problem, you can say. Okay, and this lemma indicates that beyond the unconstrained optimal density value, that is this value, the area spectral efficiency declines or decreases because of the increase in co-tier interference. In this section, we will see the area spectral efficiency increases for some particular or some threshold or some particular density, and after certain density, it will decrease. Okay, so and using this property, we have just calculated the unconstrained optimal density. This is the optimal density. Okay, and here mu is given by this expression. And after that, we just solve the area spectral efficiency optimization problem, the constraint area spectral efficiency optimization problem. And the constraint is outage probability is less than or equal to some threshold, that's delta x. For this particular one, we have just considered 0.1. The outage probability is 0.1. And with the help of TKT condition and different approach, we just solve this optimization problem. And here we have two cases. The first case is when the constraint is inactive, and we have this expression. We can consider this case just as an unconstrained optimization. And in second case, we have this value, okay, and this is the optimal density value. Okay, and similarly, we calculate the deployment cost efficiency of the proposed network, and again for that we just prove that it is strictly quasi-concave in this range. Okay, 0 to infinity, infinity to open bracket. Okay, so therefore the local optimal value of the network is global and unicost. Okay, and with the help of Mathematica we solve this expression. Simply we cannot solve we cannot calculate the value of the lambda, so density. So we use either we can use MATLAB or Mathematica to solve this equation. Okay, and after that, similar to area spectral efficiency, we calculate the constraint optimization problem for the deployment cost efficiency, and for that we determine the upper bound of the density, and that satisfies the outage performance requirement of the tire for the given outage probability. And after that, we use bisection search method, okay, to solve the or to calculate the optimal density. Even you can use other methods like Newton-Raphel method or secant method, any method you can use. But because bisection search method is a very simple and straightforward method, that's why we have just used. You can use any method, okay. But even that method can give you better result. But just for the simplicity, we have used the bisection search method in this work. And now after that, we just optimize multi-objective optimization problem. When we plot the area spectral efficiency and deployment cost efficiency, then the optimal density for the area spectral efficiency and deployment cost efficiency is different. These values are not same. So from the network operator's perspective, for to gain the better or your maximum revenue, you can say we just optimize jointly area spectral efficiency and deployment cost efficiency. And to solve this multi-objective optimization problem, we just first convert this multi-objective optimization problem into the single objective optimization problem. And for that, we use weighted sum method. And here, and for that, we just divide the deployment cost efficiency by the unconstrained value. Okay. Similarly, the area spectral efficiency is divided by the unconstrained area spectral efficiency value, and we have this uh, variable, okay, which is given by this expression. And just we solve with a similar approach. Here we use for the deployment cost efficiency, and with the help of bisection search method, we solve the single objective optimization problem. So in this way, we solve this multi-objective optimization problem for the area spectral efficiency and deployment cost efficiency. Now, network parameter. Now we will see some important graphs or results so that we can conclude some conclusion. Okay, so network parameter. So the density of the millimeter wave base station we have considered 5 into 10 to the power minus 5. Similarly, density of the macro base station is the 10 to the power minus 6. Okay, and density of the pico base station in the traditional cellular network is the 5 into 10 to the power minus 5 per meter square. Okay, and this is the parameter related to the blockage, and the value is 0.01, and SNR threshold is minus 10 dB we have considered. Okay, and transmission power, this is 1 watt for the millimeter wave base station, 20 watt for the macro base station, and 1 watt for the pico base station. And this is the path loss exponent, this is 3.5 we have considered. And for the line of sight path loss, it is path loss exponent is 2. Okay, and this is VL, the path loss exponent. For the no line of sight, it is 4. Same thing we have just discussed in the previous session. That is the path loss exponent should be different in millimeter wave. So here, for the line of sight link, we have considered it is 2, and for the no line of sight link, it is 4. And the noise power we have considered minus 107 dB, but but we just proved that this millimeter wavelength is the interference limited network. So for the other results, we just remove this noise part. And Nakagami M fading, this is the fading parameter M. We have considered value 1 for the UHF link, and 3 for the line of sight link, and 2 for the no line of sight link. and the required outage probability for the millimeter wave system tire is 0.1. We use this delta M for the optimization problem. The bandwidth is 500 megahertz for the millimeter wave link and 20 megahertz for the UHF link. And the deployment cost, so we assume that the millimeter wave base station, the deployment cost for the millimeter wave base station is $23.4 thousand, and deployment cost for the macro base station tariff is $143,000. We have just taken this value from one research paper, okay? And the main lobe here is the 10 dB, back lobe minus 10 dB, and beam width we have considered 5/4, and the distance between mobile station and base station for the millimeter wave station tire is 50 m, and in macro in UHF band it is 400 meter. So the distance between UHF link and macro base and mobile station is 400, and for the millimeter wave base station tire it is only 50 meter. Okay, so now firstly we just plot our results analytically. That means whatever we have derived here in this equation, here you can see. So just substituting the values of the network parameter, we just plot the analytical results, and we also plot simulation result. And for the simulation, we use just a Monte Carlo simulation, a very simple and straightforward simulation technique. And these are the some steps. So we assume that the system is fully loaded. That means all the base stations are in transmitting mode. So the system is fully loaded. So this is the worst performance you can say for the network. And the setup of the finite circular area is pi r square we have taken with radius r equal to 5 kilometers. So we are considering the interference up to the 5 kilometer, you can say, and is considered to perform the simulation. The density of the macro base station tire and the millimeter wave base station tire is taken just as given in table 1 here from this table. Okay, so density we have just taken these values of the okay, these are the values of the density, and the number of base stations denoted by the nk. This nk is generated for each tire. K, that is for the macro base station tire and millimeter wave base station tire, because we have two tire, two network. You can say tire means network. No? Okay, so we have two networks. So following the Poisson distribution with area A, and this area is calculated by this pi r square. Okay, and the base station of both the tire are uniformly distributed in this area A. Okay, and after that we generate channel gains independently for each base station, and after that the tire association and base station correction policy, whatever you are using, we used, and after that desired and interference links are identified. So SIR is calculated using the macro base station and millimeter wave base station tire respectively, and the outage probability are calculated by repeating the above steps for n is equal to 10,000 times. And finally, the average outage probability is calculated just by dividing this ns. Similarly, we calculated the area spectral efficiency and deployment cost efficiency solution also. So now we will discuss some important results. So this is the first result. In this result, we plotted the outage probability for the millimeter wave base station tire with SNR threshold. So we have in x-axis different SNR threshold, and in y-axis we have outage probability. We have considered two scenarios. The first scenario, without noise and no line of sight link. That means NM equal to 0. That means we have plotted this equation. Okay, and in the second scenario, we plot the second equation. Okay, so here we have first a case that is without noise and no line of sight, and second case with line of sight, no line of sight, and noise. So the dash line is for the without noise and no line of sight, and this circle is for the with the line of sight and no line of sight and noise link. And we have two density. First density is the 5 into 10 to the power minus 4, and second density is the lambda mw equal to 1 into 10 to the power minus 4. In both the cases, you can see that the outage probability is very similar. There's a very minor difference between these two cases. So, with this result, we can prove that the line of sight millimeter wave system is line of sight interference limited network, and we can easily neglect or avoid the noise and no line of sight link. So that's why we conclude that the millimeter wave links are the line of sight interference limited links or limited network. Okay, and after that, in second plot, that is figure number 6, we have plotted outage probability for different cellular networks. So in this plot, we have considered three types of network. The first one is the single tier network. Single tier network means we are only using the UHF band or typical traditional cellular network, which operates on 900 or 1800 megahertz any band. Okay, there is no other small base station. That is homogeneous cellular network. Okay, and here it is denoted by the this black line. Okay, and tier is the traditional heterogeneous cellular network. That means in the network we have one macro base station and we have some pico base station or femto base station. But both the base station operate in the UHF band. So this is second network denoted by the UTTCN. Okay, the first one is the USTCN, that is UHF based single tier cellular network. USTCN. There is only one macro base station. Okay, the second tier, a second network is the UTTCN, UHF based two tier cellular network. We have two types of base station, but both the base station operate in UHF band, that is below 3 gigahertz band. And third one is the proposed network, that is MUCN, mixed millimeter UHF based cellular network. Macro base station operate in UHF band and small base station operate in UHF band. Okay, and in this figure it is denoted by the blue line. Okay, and here we have considered two scenarios. One, when the distance between base station and mobile station is 100 meter, denoted by the solid line. And the second one, when the distance between base station and mobile station is 400 meter, denoted by this dash line. In both the cases, you can see that the best performance is given by the proposed network. For the first case, that is solid line, here you can see the outage probability. This is the outage probability for the proposed network. This is the outage probability for the UTTCN, and this is the outage probability for the single tier network. So, best performance is given by the proposed network. Similarly, for the second case, when the distance between base station and mobile station is 400 meter, in this case also, this is the two-tier network, this is the single tier network, and this is the just a minute, no? Okay, so in this case also it is given by the best performance. Okay, and for the particular value here for the RN equal to 400 meter and 0 dB, we have these are the values outage probability, that's 0.0271, 0.5582 and 0.6034. So numerically you can see here the best performance is given by this value. Okay, and in the next figure, figure number 7, we have just plotted the error spectral efficiency with respect to the SIR threshold. Okay, here you can see that here also the best performance is given by the proposed network, that is denoted by the red one, and this blue one is for the UTTCN, that is for the two-tier network, and the black one is for the single tier network. And here you can see that after some SIR threshold, okay, the value of the area spectral efficiency decreases. Okay, the particular value it increases after certain value. For the example, for up to here, it is increases, but after that, this point, it is decreases because area spectral efficiency depends on the spatial throughput as well as link spectral efficiency. So this is given by coverage probability multiplied by density multiplied by the link, that is log base 2 1 plus SIR threshold. So when we increase the SIR threshold, then obviously the outage probability also increases. Okay, so that's why for the after some particular value it decreases. Okay, so now in next figure we have plotted area spectral efficiency of the MMUCL of different densities. So in x-axis we have density for the network. We have considered the density for the millimeter wave network. Okay, and in the x-axis we have area spectral efficiency. And with the density, as with density increases, okay, the area spectral efficiency increases, but after some particular value, okay, a certain value, the outage area spectral efficiency decreases because of the co-tier interference of the network. Because after some certain density, the increasing the density of the network increases the co-tier interference of the network. That's why the performance of the network decreases, and that's why we have calculated the optimal density of the network. Okay, and similarly here we have plotted deployment cost efficiency of the MMUCL for different density. Here you can also find that after some density, after certain density, it decreases. Okay. And here the relationship between we have deployment cost efficiency and area efficiency. We have the trade-off between these two values. With the increasing value, when we increase the value of the area spectral efficiency, the deployment cost efficiency also increases. But after some value, the deployment cost efficiency decreases. Okay, that's why we have calculated the joint optimization, I could say multi-object optimization problem, so that we can calculate the density, optimal density for both the network. Now, conclusion of this research. So this research investigate outage probability, area spectral efficiency, and deployment cost efficiency of the proposed network, that is mixed millimeter wave UHF based cellular network, and compare this result with the performance of the traditional two-tier cellular network. And outage performance of the MMUCL is better as compared to the traditional two-tier network with line of sight link. We have already proved this. And achievable area spectral efficiency, deployment cost efficiency of the proposed network are significantly higher than UTTCL, that is two-tier cellular network, because of the available large underutilized bandwidth of the millimeter wave link and favorable SIR or signal to interference ratio distribution for the millimeter wave small cell. So it is expected that the theoretical framework developed in this work may be considered as a baseline model to develop more spectral and energy efficient system by employing the different strategies. So in this work, you can apply different approach like cognitive radio, NOMA, or any other massive MIMO technique, and you can even achieve better results. So now, with now we can discuss. I am discussing some future research direction, so that if you are interested in this area, then you can work in that directions in these directions. Okay, so the so the first research direction could be the more realistic point process. Actually, in most of the existing research work, millimeter wave base stations are distributed by the triple P model, because this is very simple and straightforward model to develop the mathematical framework using distinct or different physical layer techniques. Okay, so triple P is the general point process to characterize the cellular networks, but to provide better modeling and more accurate analysis, it is essential to choose point process that carry the properties of cellular networks with practical network models. Some other point process we have, like hardcore point processes, where the distance between two uh, points are fixed, and other is the Poisson cluster point process. Okay, offers more realistic and exact modeling for the millimeter wave network. So one fundamental research direction is to just extend this work to analyze for a more practical point process, like hardcore point process or Poisson cluster point process. Okay, which can capture more accurately the characteristics of the cellular networks. And apart from that, we have considered only the homogeneous Poisson point process. There is one another point process, that is the inhomogeneous Poisson point process, which is also known as a non-stationary triple P model, because in homogeneous Poisson point process, the density is fixed. But in inhomogeneous Poisson point process, the density is not fixed. So obviously, this is the somewhat difficult, more mathematically involved process, but it will provide more realistic study in this area. So if you are interested, then you can work on this inhomogeneous Poisson point process also. This is very new, a very good area in this for the calculation of the millimeter wave base station outage or other parameter calculation. Okay, so and the next point is the considering the correlation between millimeter wave base station and blockages. So in the present work, in this work, actually, locations of the millimeter wave base station transmitting nodes and blockages are distributed as independent homogeneous Poisson point process with different densities. Okay, but in a realistic scenario, location of the base stations and blockages could be related, may be related. Okay, so therefore, existing analysis can be extended just by considering the correlation between millimeter wave base station and blockages. But obviously, mathematics could be more involved, so it is up to you. And the third point is the hybrid sub 6 gigahertz and millimeter wave base station. You can apply some other approaches like non-orthogonal multiple access, a very uh, emerging technique in this area, because it already accepted by the research community that OFDM is not suitable for the millimeter wave network, and NOMA is the better option. So you can extend this work with the help of by applying the NOMA technique. Okay, and third one is statistical parameter optimization versus instantaneous parameter optimization. Actually, in wireless communication, the optimization problem may be classified into two categories. First one is the statistical optimization, and second one is the instantaneous optimization problem. So that for example, instantaneous optimization calculates the optimal value of the instantaneous system parameters, such as allocation of the channel, and power and mode of the operation, etc. And it assures optimal network performance at any time. Okay, on the other hand, in this work we have calculated the statistical optimization that determines the statistical system parameter such as base station density. In this work, we have just calculate the optimal density. So this is the statistical parameter. So you can extend this work by calculating the instantaneous parameter like transmission power, etc. Okay, so this could be another extension for this work. Uh, Next one is the indoor mobile station. Okay, as we system model, I have already told you that we have performed this work for the outdoor base station. So we can extend this work for the indoor mobile station, and we have also discussed that the indoor environment is different for the millimeter wave base station. we cannot provide communication from the indoor to outdoor users and outdoor to indoor users. Okay, so the scenario will be changed, and you can extend this work for the indoor mobile station. And apart from that, you can apply massive MIMO. Here in this technique, in this work, we haven't applied this MIMO concept. You can apply MIMO concept, and obviously you will get more good result for the area efficiency and deployment cost efficiency. Okay, so these are some research direction in that you can perform your research, you can do your research. Okay, and now I am showing you just a minute. Okay, now if you are interested in stochastic geometry, this web page is visible or not? Hello.
No, sir, it's not visible.
It's not visible. Just a minute. No, I'm showing one. Just a minute. No? Just a minute. Now it is visible. Hello.
So black screen is showing.
Okay. Just a minute. No.
It will come up.
It is visible or not?
No,
Hello?
sir, it's not visible. And now your presentation is also not visible.
Okay.
Presentation slides.
Google Chrome share. Now I hope now.
Yes, sir. It's
Yes,
visible.
sir. Yes, sir. Now it's visible.
Okay. So I think if you are interested in stochastic geometry, so now I'm sharing, I'm giving you two very good websites. Okay, this website is handled by this HP Keeler. I think pronunciation is Keeler. Okay. Here you can you can find all the MATLAB code, Java code, even Python code for these different distributions. Okay. Here you can see, okay, binomial distribution, binomial point process, okay, okay, okay. The definition, basic definition, distributions, okay, and after that the Poisson point process, the very important, okay, and homogeneous. We have just used this point process, homogeneous Poisson point process, okay, and okay, the basic mathematics behind this distribution, okay, and the code. Here you can see the codes, okay, for example, okay, the different codes is already given here, and after that, so further readings, stochastic geometry based mathematics, okay, and a different MATLAB code here, simulation, homogeneous Poisson point process on a rectangular, on a disk, triangle, everything is given here. So this will be helpful for you if you're interested in this stochastic geometry based network modeling. And now in every research work, you can see for the modeling of the cellular network, we use this stochastic geometry based network. Okay, because hexagonal grid model is too idealistic for the current scenario. So you can use these codes or to understand the stochastic geometry. Okay, apart from that, in this same web page, you can also get the outage probability MATLAB code. So this is very good website. Okay, so you can visit or you can use this website for your research if you are interested in stochastic geometry. Okay, and apart from that, okay, just a minute now, I'm showing you some the MATLAB course. Okay, the plotted in MATLAB, plotted in Python. If you are good in Python, then you can use Python also. Otherwise, MATLAB is a very simple language, programming language. So you can use this website. No? This is a very good website for the stochastic geometry study and for the especially MATLAB and Python code. Okay, so this is one website. Okay, and for the theoretical analysis or theoretical study, you can use this book, that is Interference in Large Wireless Network, written by the R.K. Ganti and this author. Okay, the first stochastic geometry based paper for the silver network is written by this Radhakrishnan Ganti. He is a professor in IIT Madras. And this book is very simple and very useful for the in this area. Even you, if you are interested in the ad hoc network, then then also you can read this book for the stochastic geometry analysis. So the interference in large wireless network. So you can use you can study this book for the stochastic geometry. Okay, so okay, from my side, the presentation is completed. If you have any question, then you can ask me. Just a minute, just I'm presenting just a minute. Uh, Stop sharing. Share the. Okay. Have you any question related to the research direction or some research or any other? I will send this presentation so you can okay, you can see.
Sir, what is
this
ASE? The ASE optimization.
Hello.
Sir, what is ASE optimization?
ASE means area spectral efficiency. Okay, and here in this figure you can see that when we increase the density of the base station, okay, the density of the millimeter wave base station, then you can see that after some density, at a certain point, it decreases. Okay, so with the help of this optimization problem, we just calculate the optimal density. That means these points. Okay, these points. That is peak points we have calculated. So this is in a very simple language. This is the ASE optimization. And obviously we have just substitute, we just constrained by some outage probability. Okay, the outage probability should be at least 0.1. And that condition, what should be the optimal density of the network? It is either it is in a particular area we have to deploy 100 base station or 200 base station. Why we unnecessarily deploy the number of base station? Because after some density, it decreases the performance of the network. That's why we calculate the optimal density of the base station. And this is the area spectral efficiency base station. Because unnecessary deployment is not useful, not good for the network operator. No, that's why we calculate the optimal density of the network.
So what is
Any other
outage
question?
probability? What is outage probability analysis of MMU series? How to do that one? Something you got told with Laplace transform.
No, Laplace transform is another thing. Just I'm giving you the just basic definition. What is the outage probability? Okay, so here I have just defined you. If both the links do not satisfy the minimum SANR threshold, for every device we have some sensitivity. Okay, so for example, if we receive just the 0.1 watt, then only we can connect to the base station. Okay, so if we haven't, if I haven't received the 0.1, at least 0.1 what we need now for the connection or for the to establish the link between base station and mobile station. Below this, we are in outage probability. Okay.
So next
so,
slides. Next slides.
Next slides. Here, this one, Laplace transform.
Next, sir.
Next.
This is two special cases you have taken for research as well. This one.
Can't hear you. Again, can you
Next,
can't
sir.
hear you?
Next.
This slide or next? This slide.
Next, sir. What is area specialization?
Hello. Yes. What's your question?
Sir, what is area spectral efficiency?
Area spectral efficiency. Area spectral efficiency is just the product of